Well, coming up today, more bowl games. Cheez It Bowl, Alamo Bowl. Is that it today? Syracuse and Minnesota in the Pinstripe Bowl. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk about the Cheez It Bowl and I gotta look again. What the Alamo Bowl? The names of these bowl games: Cheez It Bowl, Florida State and Oklahoma; Alamo Bowl, Texas and Washington. Before we do that, though, got some business to take care of. Looks like North Carolina went ahead and crapped the bed yesterday. Yeah, they did. Let's go ahead and turn North Carolina's helmet upside down. Congratulations to Oregon. What else? Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Where is this garbage? Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Too many helmets. And you can't find what you're looking for. Where are the droids I'm looking for? Everything starts to blend together. Oh, right next to where I just was at. Yeah, that makes sense. Ole Miss, you crapped the bed. No surprise, you're an SEC team. SEC team must be horrible. The SEC must be terrible since they're not doing well in bowl season. I don't know. Guess they're not the best conference. Type. Of course they are. Of course the SEC. Y'all know the SEC is still the best conference. It makes you mad. Yeah, they're not doing too good in the bowl games though. Anyway, Florida State and Oklahoma, a tale of two teams. I don't know if headed in the right direction is the right phrase, but two teams that definitely went in different directions this season. Florida State, of course, had one of the best seasons they've had in a long time. One of the best seasons they've had really since their playoff run back in 2014, the first year of the playoffs. They made the playoffs. They lost in round one, and then the year before that, of course, they had won the national title with Jameis Winston. But this is probably the best year they've had since then. They went 9-3. And all three of their losses came in a row. They just had sort of a slump there in the middle of the season. Now, they played some decent competition, Clemson, NC State, and Wake Forest. But, man, if you're Florida State, wouldn't you like another crack at NC State and Wake Forest? I think Florida State's probably better than them, but for whatever reason, they lost those games. Clemson, okay, that's understandable. But 9-3, chance to go 10-3 with a win today against Oklahoma, who did not have a good season like Florida State did. Oklahoma had, instead of having the best season they've had in a decade, Oklahoma had the worst. There's no way to describe Brent Venables' first season at Oklahoma other than to use the word failure. That's what it was. It was an absolute failure. Not only did they not really improve at all defensively, which you would have expected a little bit of improvement from Venables. I know he's got to get more players in there, but you would have expected more improvement than we got just by having him there. So not only did the defense not really live up to what we thought maybe it would be this year, the offense regressed even more than we thought. I know they dealt with injuries, but the reality is everybody deals with injuries in college football. I get so sick of people want to cry about injuries all the time. Everybody has injuries. That you get 85 scholarships. It's not like you've got 25 players. You have 85 scholarships for a reason. Every single team in the country is playing with hurt players or has players out because of injuries. The reality is Oklahoma was just terrible this year. They're absolutely horrible. And I don't think they're going to do anything in this game today against Florida State to change anybody's mind, especially mine. Brent Venables, is he going to be on the hot seat in year two? I don't think he's on the hot seat in year two, but he better show drastic improvement in year two, or he will be on the hot seat in year three. Patience has paid off, on the other hand, for Florida State and Mike Norvell. They had some rough years under Mike Norvell's first couple of years, but they turned it around this year, like I said, with a 9-3 record, chance to get to 10 wins today. I'm going to be live streaming both of those games today, by the way, so we'll start the live stream at 5:30 for Florida State and Oklahoma. We'll keep the live stream going through the Texas and Washington games, so be live streaming from like 5:30 to midnight, so it's going to be another long day of live streaming today, but anyway, and Florida State's already got some good news for next season. I mean, the quarterback's coming back. They get Jaheim Bell in the transfer portal. I mean, things are looking up for Florida State. In a league, the ACC, that is trending down. I'm joking at the beginning about the SEC. The ACC is horrible. The ACC is probably the worst I've seen the ACC in a long, long time. I don't know that there's a legitimate top 25 team in the ACC not named Clemson. I'm dead serious. North Carolina, I don't know. NC State, Wake Forest. I mean, Florida State's a top 25 team. But the point is, just not a good league right now. Florida State's got a chance to really take a step forward next year, another step forward next year. We'll see if they can do it. But in this game here, they're favored by 10, and I don't think that's enough. I think Florida State could run away with this one. I really do. Brent Venables just has seemed overwhelmed this year, and I don't have enough confidence in Brent Venables as a first-year head coach that he's going to somehow use this 2 or 3 weeks between the end of the regular season and now to drastically improve or change things on that team. I think Florida State comes out, probably jumps on them early, stays up on them, and wins the game. And I don't think it's going to be particularly close. If I was going to bet this game, I would definitely take Florida State and lay the points. On to Texas and Washington. Man, when is Texas back again? They're back every year, it seems, in the offseason anyway. I don't know. Texas, there's just a handful of these teams. Texas, Nebraska, Miami, Tennessee. They're constantly back. When was the last time any of those teams even won their conference? Even won their conference. Never mind make a playoff or win a playoff game or anything like that. When was the last time Texas won the Big 12? It wasn't 2010, was it? God. Tennessee hasn't won their conference since 1998. Miami has never won the ACC. Nebraska, they've never won the Big 10. You have to go back to Big 12 days to find anything meaningful for them. With that being said about Texas, though, there's a lot of people that are way more down on Sarkisian than I am. I don't think Sarkisian is on the way out or is going to be fired next year, which I keep hearing that a lot. Next year's going to be his last year. They're recruiting pretty well. I know they're not getting the results on the field that the fans want, but I do think, like, if you're a Texas fan, or would you rather be a Texas fan or an Oklahoma fan right now, getting ready to transition into the SEC? I think Texas is in better shape to have some success in the SEC sooner rather than later right now than Oklahoma is. Not that I expect Texas to come in and dominate the SEC. That's not what I'm saying. But, they've got some key pieces in place. They've got a good quarterback now in Quinn Ewers. They've got what most people think is going to be a good quarterback for the future in Arch Manning. And I think Sarkisian is a good offensive mind. I really do. Bijan Robinson had a great year running the ball this year. I mean, they're going to have some pieces to replace next year for sure. But, I think Texas has a chance next year to have a pretty good season, and they could use this game as a springboard towards that. This Texas Bowl or Alamo Bowl, whatever the hell I got to look again. It doesn't even matter. The Valero Alamo Bowl against Washington, I think Texas could use this game as like a springboard forward into an improved season in 2023 if they could get a win. The problem is they're playing Washington. And no matter how much I tried to tell people to start watching the Pac-12 this year, the majority of them didn't listen. So to those of you that didn't listen, let me just go ahead and tell you, Washington's a pretty good team. They're a lot better. However good you think Washington is, they're better than that. I promise you. They're a legitimate top 15, top 20-ish type team. I think they're going to win this game. The Pac-12 was a better league this year than the Big 12. Washington was better in the Pac-12 than Texas was in the Big 12, in my opinion. And I think Washington's going to get this done. A couple of teams that are playing today, Florida State and Washington. Florida State plays first. I think they win. Washington and Texas play tonight. I think Washington wins. You just watch and wait till this offseason. With the way those two teams did this year, Washington and Florida State, they both exceeded expectations. They both have significant players coming back for next year. You just wait. Those are going to be two of the teams that people talk about this offseason as potential, like, long shot playoff teams for next year. You just wait. Florida State and Washington. Notice I said long shot. I don't think anybody's going to be actually predicting either of those teams to end up in the 4-team playoff next year. Remember, next year is the last year of the 4-team playoff. But there's a lot of positive momentum for both of those teams right now, Florida State and Washington. And if they both win today against two big-name brands, I mean, whatever we think about Texas and Oklahoma as a football team this season, Texas and Oklahoma are two huge brands. And if Florida State ends their season 10-3 with a win over Oklahoma, and Washington wins their season with a win over Texas, combined with the coaches they have, the players they have coming back, and the schedule they have next year, you're going to hear a lot in the offseason about Florida State and Washington if they can get these wins today. And I think they do. I think Florida State wins, and I think Washington wins. Unfortunately, that means Texas and Oklahoma taking L's today. But speaking of taking L's, I'm not getting very many of these games right. So, hell, who knows? I could be wrong on both accounts. Here's Texas and Washington. So one of these will be getting turned over today. And then we got Florida State and Oklahoma down here. One of these will be getting turned over today. Minnesota and Syracuse is on right now, so we'll turn one of those over today too. But if you're going to be watching these bowl games today, they start at 5:30. I believe the Texas and Washington game is come on till 9. Is that right? Yeah, they're going to try to keep me up late tonight Texas and Washington come on till 9. So I'll be live streaming from 5:30 this afternoon till midnight or 1 in the morning when that Texas and Washington game ends. So come hang out. We have a great time on those live streams. Come hang out. Come say hey. We'll talk some college football. We'll be watching those 2 games, but we talk about all kinds of stuff involving college football. So we'll talk about the playoff games coming up this weekend and, of course, the New Year's Six Bowls as well. So come hang out with us. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Have a good morning.